Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are diving deep into a really important piece of legislation from India, the Prohibition of Child Marriage Act of 2006. Now, this law is a huge deal. It's all about protecting kids from the serious harms of early marriage. So in this explainer, we're going to break down how it works, how it gives a way out, how it punishes those responsible, and how it tries to stop these marriages from ever happening in the first place.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll start with the basics, the core definitions, so we're all on the same page. Then we'll look at how a child marriage can actually be undone. After that, we'll talk about who gets punished, and then a really fascinating part, how the law tries to prevent these marriages before they happen. And we'll wrap it all up by looking at how this law has evolved out in the real world. All right, first things first, the core definitions. To really get a grip on this act, we have to start with the language it uses. These are the fundamental building blocks.
So, that brings us to the absolute most important question, the one the entire law is built on. What exactly is a child? And what makes a marriage a child marriage, according to this specific law? And here we have it, the official line in the sand. The law is crystal clear. A child is a male under 21 or a female under 18. That's it. So, any marriage where one or both people are younger than these ages is, by definition, a child marriage. It's a really unambiguous place to start. So what happens if a child marriage has already taken place? Is that it? Is it permanent? Well, not exactly. The Act provides a very specific way to get it annulled. Let's look at how. Now, this is a super important legal distinction we need to understand. A child marriage isn't just automatically illegal or erased. The law calls it voidable. And that one word is really powerful because it puts the choice, the power to act, right in the hands of the person who was married as a child. Think of voidable like this. It's kind of like a contract where one person has the special right to cancel it. The marriage is legally a thing until that person, the one who was a child, decides to nullify it. They're the one holding the key. They can let it stand, or they can have it legally dissolved. So the whole process boils down to 3 clear steps. First, the person who is a child has to file a petition in court. But, and this is so critical, there's a time limit. That petition has to be filed within 2 years of them becoming an adult. So there's a specific window. If they act in time, the court can grant what's called a decree of nullity, which makes it official. The marriage is legally over.
But check this out. The law doesn't just end the marriage and say good luck. No, it builds in a crucial safety net. The court can order the male's family to provide financial support and a place to live for the female. Super important. Any kids born from the marriage are considered legitimate, which protects their rights. And finally, all the gifts, all the valuables, they have to be returned.
Okay, so the Act isn't just about fixing the situation after the fact. It's also about consequences. It really tries to deter child marriage by holding the adults who make it happen accountable. So who exactly can get in trouble?
First up, the law goes after the adult spouse. Any guy over 18 who marries a child is looking at some serious penalties, up to 2 years of rigorous imprisonment, and yeah, that means hard labor, plus a pretty hefty fine.
But it doesn't stop with the husband. The law also targets anyone who facilitates the wedding. We're talking about priests, community elders, anyone who performs, conducts, or directs the marriage. The penalty is just as harsh, which sends a really clear message that enabling a child marriage is a serious crime.
And this is where the law puts a direct duty on parents and guardians. They can be punished for promoting the marriage, for permitting it, or even, and this is the kicker, for negligently failing to prevent it. The law basically assumes that if a child gets married, the guardian failed in their duty unless they can prove they did everything they could to stop it. So far, we've been talking about what happens after a child marriage. But what's really cool about this act is that it's designed to be proactive, not just reactive. It actually has a powerful tool to stop these marriages before they even start.
And that tool is called an injunction. Just think of it as a legal stop sign. If someone has credible information that a child marriage is about to happen, they can go to a court and a magistrate can issue this order that legally forbids the wedding from moving forward. And if someone ignores that court order, well, that has the ultimate consequence. If a marriage goes ahead anyway in defiance of an injunction, it's not just voidable anymore. It is immediately null and void. Legally, it's like it never even happened. So who makes all this happen on the ground? The Act actually created a special job, the Child Marriage Prohibition Officer, or CMPO. These are the frontline folks appointed by the state. Their job is everything from raising awareness and collecting evidence to, you guessed it, going to court to get those injunctions we just talked about.
All right, Section 5, the law in action. You know, laws aren't set in stone. They can evolve. And to see just how powerful this act can be, let's look at a case study from the state of Karnataka, where they took the national law and kicked it up a notch. This table shows the difference so well. Look at what Karnataka did. They made 3 huge changes. First, they made every child marriage illegal right from the start. The legal term is void ab initio. This is a game changer because the kid doesn't have the burden of annulling it anymore. Second, they added more teeth to the punishment, a minimum 1-year prison sentence. And third, they removed the exemption for women, making all adults equally accountable. So when you put it all together, you can really see this powerful 3-pronged approach. The act offers a remedy for those already in a child marriage. It acts as a deterrent by punishing the adults involved, and it provides a shield to stop these marriages before they can happen. It's a really comprehensive way to tackle the problem from all sides.
Which brings us to our final question. The Prohibition of Child Marriage Act is clearly a strong legal tool. The words on the page provide for protection, punishment, and prevention. But a law is only as strong as its enforcement on the ground, right? So the real question is, what does it truly take in terms of social change, community awareness, and official willpower to make this legal framework a lived reality for every single child?